in a computer world where pixels compete for social status by any means necessary until there is no one logged in.
This is going to be another one of those videos because things have happened early this morning, and it was one of those mornings where I wake up, I look at my email, and there's an offline message, and it's a very long one, and it's like, uh-oh. So I get up, get my coffee, do the morning routine stuff, come back, log in, and begin to read over the offline message. Obviously, I cannot interact or reply to this person because they have removed me from their Discord. There is a high possibility that this person has blocked me as well because they made it quite clear that they want nothing to do with me, and that's fine. However, I have a YouTube channel and I will use it not to necessarily reply to that person, but I have a right to say what I want to say. You may not agree with it, and that's fine, but I have a right to say it. This is it. I am expressing my right to my personal freedom to speak of my experiences on my YouTube channel that I connect with through the internet that I pay for. No one will dictate to me how, when, or where I am to speak. And if anyone has a problem with that, there's the door. So let's continue. 3 weeks ago, I got a notification in Secondlife. And it was a notification that I hadn't seen at all. It was new to me. So I investigated, and it was someone who had started to follow my web profile feed. I thought that was strange because who really uses those things anymore, right? So I copied and pasted the name into in-world search, and lo and behold, it was a brand new, freshly resed Noob. Under the date, under the res date, it said just res today. I thought, oh my. I thought it was my ex-abuser hunting me down for whatever reason. You get paranoid, right? So I took a couple of minutes. I put that to the side and I wanted to distract myself with something else. So I looked on my Twitter, to see if the world had blown up or not. And there was a notification that a person was following me on my Twitter and the names matched. So I looked at their Twitter profile and I read it. And okay, they have a picture and they have words, a short bio that made sense. Okay, that's a real person. That's a totally different person. So I DM'd the person and I said, hey, do you know me from somewhere? And they said, from your YouTube channel. And then they went into detail about how they had been thinking about joining Secondlife, but they were unsure if they would find people in Secondlife that he could call his people. People with the same interests and the same values and the same political views. According to him, after he stumbled upon one video of mine that I made back in 2020, it was the one about the Trump sign in my yard. Y'all may remember that. If you don't, you can go and check it out. And there you go. So, and he watched more of my videos because on this side of things, I could tell a lot about people who watch the videos. That's just a YouTube thing, right? I don't use it all the time, but when something strange happens, yeah, I use that data. He was really interested in me. He became interested and was just very, very excited. Of course, at the time, I was quite flattered because, wow, you know me, I'm a sucker for effort, right? And this person had done a lot of effort, put in a lot of effort to get my attention to contact me. When they logged into Second Life and we met up, for the next 3 weeks, I helped this person hold in their hand through the total noob first time ever experience, from explaining the difference between the male mesh bodies to explaining how owning land works, how premium membership works, um, going with him to pick out clothes, all of this stuff, all the things that you do to help a noob. As time went on, about 4 days, he gave me his real life cell phone number and said that I could call anytime and talk to him about anything. And at first I was highly skeptical because, it's one of those things that it's too good to be true. I was cautious, but he made it quite apparent and reassured me to the ends of the earth that he meant it, that no matter what, that he cared for me no matter what. There was a deep friendship starting there. And of course, in my previous video, the first video of the noob experience that I did a couple of days ago, I did make references to what I am telling you now. Anyway, a week before that, the noob reached out to me from my YouTube channel. I'm using the word reach here diplomatically because actually it was stalking, really. Anyway, I had in world came across a sim and a group of people. And this group of people, I enjoyed. It was people that were within and just a little bit older than me in age, in physical world age, and also in res years. And that made me feel comfortable. There there was a connection there because we had similar interests and we had been around in Second Life for a very long time. So obviously that's going to be the biggest common interest. So when the noob came into my SL, I introduced them to this group of people that I had come to know. In retrospect, I should have known them longer, but that's neither here nor there. When I introduced the noob to this group of people, I explained how he reached out to me and jokingly said stalking, to which the noob thought was funny, and he did agree, right? More time was spent uh, with the noob alone, continuing to help him and within the group. Then I started to realize I was having that doom feeling, when things are going to start going off the rails. The angry person, before he became the angry person, had reached out to me on the channel, even though He was on my friends list and could IM me directly, but he made it public that he needed help with terraforming on his land. Of course, I agreed to it. I went over and I just got straight to work. You know how I am with the terraforming. I love it. I focus on it. I love it. I completed it. It was 10 minutes. Not a big job. It was just 10 minutes of my time. Well, he gave me Linden's. I gave it back. He regave it to me. I said I did not do this for pay, but he said that I deserve it because it was my time. So, all right, I accepted it, right? Then, a few days later, the same person was having issues with a certain body part and an alpha layer. He had been having issues for some days, and he was frustrated, annoyed, and just ready to give up on Second Life altogether. And this person had been in Second Life for as long as I have. And there were musings from the other people in the same group that he had anger issues. I do not fall folly to third party words. So I ignored what they said. Thought it can't be that bad. So I reached out to him and offered him help, to which he accepted. I went over to his house and his avatar was at a state. However, was focused on the problem at hand. It was not a big deal. It was a small problem. It was a fixable issue. When I proceeded to help him to explain things, we started from scratch. At first, he was willing to listen, and he did. And then when things were not getting any better, he became suddenly infused with anger. Anger of which I have never experienced from another person in all of my internet life. And this reaches all the way back to 1994. As time went on, I am trying to soothe him, choose my words carefully in order to cool the situation. But he did not listen to anything that I said. He became more angry, so angry that I heard clashes of things being thrown, screaming, yelling, and eventually he ended up breaking his mouse, which made the problem even more of a problem. He broke a tool that he could have used to help with his problem, but because his mouse was not working, he now had another problem. He then rage quit, and I went back to my home. I just let him be. I did not contact him, but was when he repaired himself, and the solution was one of the first solutions that I had said to him, he then gave me Linden's, to which I returned to him, to which he regave to me and insisted that I keep it because I put the time in to try to help him. Then he praised me with endearing terms, to which I said, thank you. I saw the effort that they had tried to do, and I accepted their apology. That episode and that situation was a huge red flag. When someone becomes so angry over an alpha layer, a neck blender, that they break their mouse, and no matter what you say to help soothe them and to be present within that moment, they still do not listen, that is a red flag. Well, After that episode with the angry person, and I just put it to the side, it happened, it's no longer a thing, it's over. Again, given the benefit of the doubt, again, even though my gut instinct was telling me, run. Over the days, the angry person was really enjoying my channel. They would speak with me directly in IM and tell me that they watch my videos when they're at work, and went on to say how much they got enjoyment out of my voice, and absolutely commenting on a lot of things on old videos and just enjoying it in world. They would prep up my channel and talk about it often, just absolutely flooded me with accolades regarding my channel. It was a lot to take in. All those compliments, all those heavy on compliments. Of course, I took it for what it was and, really said nothing about it. And then things started to really change. The angry person would speak with me privately. I am. They were very, very blunt with their words. Some might say that it was inappropriate to make a comment about the appearance of my avatar after seeing something that I had worn in a video. My legs are too short to wear thigh high boots, and my butt is too big. He laughed. He said it was a joke, and I was like, oh, I reacted. Any woman in any world would react to something like that. A man telling a female, yeah, you can't wear thigh high boots. Your legs are too short. Your ass is too big. Ha ha ha. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. And then later on, they bring it up again. But seriously, your legs are too short to wear thigh high boots. You need longer legs, and your ass is too big. This struck a chord with me. I stopped talking with that person. After some time, the issue with the angry person became quite evident when I was wanting to take some time alone. I was in a live stream, sorting out my inventory when I get an IM from the angry person. First, it was cordial. Are you okay, Asa? Yes, I'm fine. How are you? Given this opportunity in the IM with the angry man, I told him that I was not mad at him. It had nothing to do with him. It was an issue that I had to deal with on my own regarding the comment about my avatar appearance, which did strike me quite a bit. But I thought about it long and hard. I wanted to make sure that he knew that I wasn't mad at him. I was just going to take that incident with him at a loss because was it worth it? But he said that he was sorry for hurting my feelings. And I calmly explained to him the difference between having hurt feelings and being ticked into such a state that I turned my butt sliders all the way down and I lengthened my legs. I actually got self conscious about my avatar. But do you see how it was more of a me issue, right? I suppose I didn't explain it well enough to him that it was a me issue and I wasn't mad at him. And there's a big difference between having your feelings hurt and being tripped into a trigger. Really huge difference, right? Then he made a what he claims to be a joke, and it was about suicide. And it was an emote, and he had a noose around a body part, and it involved a chair. I don't want to say it word for word. And I was shocked and I was appalled, and he thought it was funny. He said after his emote that the noose was around my neck. I was confused, and I was, I was, that was a comment that, oh, wow. So I explained to him, I said, that is not funny. Suicide is not funny. And you do not say such things to a person, especially if they have mental health issues. And then a few moments passed, and he said, we should not talk anymore because he always seems to touch a nerve somehow. I didn't respond. I did not respond. I was not going to fall into the trap of victim reversal and putting the blame on me for how I responded to his joke. That triggered me, and I am using it in the correct way as I am diagnosed with PTSD, and there are such a things as real triggers, not snowflake triggers, but actual triggers that those of us with PTSD, CPTSD, and other mental health issues use on purpose to describe an oncoming symptom of that illness. We use it to describe how serious it is and to be taken seriously. I had a PTSD flashback and I just lost it completely. I said thing, and there to help me was Ray. All this unexpectedly happened on a live stream. I was not in the mental framework to stop the live stream. It did not occur to me. With everything that I was experiencing in that group as a whole, my feelings about that group, my thoughts about that group came out into that live stream. I did not have a problem with the other members of the group, but I did have a problem being around the angry person. And I did have a problem when another person from the group approached me and made excuses for his behavior. I do not want to be around a group of people that enables bad behavior, regardless of how rough your life is, regardless of what your own issues are. If you are around people that enable that, that just try not to help you for the betterment of you, accepting someone and enabling them to continue to treat others, those are not friends. You may feel as though they accept you for as you are, which is all well and good. But what about considering that they all might be afraid of you, too scared to talk with you about your anger issues? That's a problem. Honestly, I did not want to be around a dysfunctional dark triad of people secluded in their own group and be subjected to closed minded acceptance of other people that were not of their same mind. I'll say that to be diplomatic. I removed everyone that I had on my friends list from that group. People that had offered me friendship, I accepted, but They never actually spoke to me directly in IM. And the other person from the group who was fashionably late to the verbal gangbang was not concerned of the angry man's beyond the pale joke. Though I did ask this other one from the group if they thought that suicide was funny. They hesitated for a while and said, well, no. I'm like, then why are you excusing that behavior? Why are you defending it? The live stream. It ended abruptly because I got an IM from one of the other people in the group. And I was already in a mess and I was scared and I just logged out of everything and went away from my computer for a while. Day or two had passed and there was a comment from the angry man. He was irate in that comment. Then he put up another comment, and again, he was very hateful with his words. And then there was a third comment, but this was from the other person from the group. Regarding the comment that the other person from the group left, the third comment, they were more concerned about what was said about them. And then they proceeded to threaten me with defamation and demanded that I take down the live stream or they will report me. I laughed. I just laughed. I laughed. I wasn't scared because I know defamation and I know what slander is. And I know very well the Linden Labs terms of service, and I know very well the YouTube terms of service. Also, because this group is a certain type of political group that believes in free speech and freedom is everything. Yet, what I learned up to this point in this experience of how things occur with people in Second Life, I really did wonder deeply why it was so hard for the group to digest their own reactions and responses. They seemed the type to be overly strong minded and pretty stuck to their convictions. Yet, when they feel or when they absolutely lose their temper, then they want to go scorched earth, right? They don't want to talk about things or to try to be reasonable and logical. No, they don't. So that is unfortunate because politically speaking, it's those type of people in the political sphere that really muddies the water and it makes it difficult to side yourself with those kind of people. I knew then that if the noob was getting closer to that group because he was desperate to find his people, those of the same political affiliation, then he can go right on ahead. He can go right on ahead. And that is what you call situational irony. What do you think about that, Wilson? Yes. Yes, it is a bit comical, isn't it? I ended up making that apology live stream, which is still up. And I was sincere with everything that I said. Along all of these happenings, the noob was still around, but the noob was fence sitting. The noob proclaimed to be a real and true man with a sense of honor and dignity and respect. Of course, all lies, especially when they proclaim to care about me so much yet had only known me for a short while, but have been stalking my YouTube channel for I'm not really sure how long. For them to just discard me, stick with that group, I didn't think was such a caring act. I mean, when you care for someone, don't you like have their back? Don't you stick up for them? Don't you, side with them and stop associating with the people that hurt someone that you proclaim to care about? I mean, that's how things work, right? The discardment was in the long offline message that I logged into. I was confused. I was like, well, what? Now, I'm not going to read the long Dear Jane letter, well, offline message, because I don't want to embarrass the noob any further by publicly displaying the social stupidity that he is not aware of what happens in Second Life. No, he will find out in time. I have learned a lot during this whole experience. It was a huge risk that I took. And because I took that risk and I have that experience, I am able to share it in a video, not to hurt anyone's feelings or to call them out, because for that to happen, I would have to use names or personal identifiers, which I have not. Now, they make themselves known and comment on this video or anywhere else on my channel, then that's their mistake, not mine. So that is the shortest version of what has been happening in the last 3 weeks that I am able to provide for you. I even spoke about it with my therapist. I called her earlier today, read her the offline messages from the noob, was absolutely confused, which is a symptom of having been gaslighted for so long. I told her more about what happened, and she gave me some really great advice. She told me that I was not in any wrong, that it was normal and natural for me to believe the things that he had told me, for me to believe that he would stick with me, take up for me, like he said he would. She said that the problem was that he used me. He got what he wanted. And perhaps maybe that was the only thing that he wanted. And that is why he sought me out. My friends who knows the situation told me the same thing. The only thing that really stuck out to me in that offline series of messages he left for me in SL was that he said that I was emotionally immature because I had thought that he would do what he said and stick up for me and be my friend and never leave me and all of these things. I thought that he would leave the people in that group that hurt me because he said he proclaimed that he cared for me. So, me thinking that, me expecting that, that was emotionally immature. When I talked to my therapist about that, she said that that was a form of manipulation of someone with no certifiable level of confidence of how they interact with society. When she said that, it made sense because he told me about some of his life and his own issues. My therapist went on to say that I should do a video as a form of closure because it would be therapeutic. And I thought about it. I wasn't sure at first because I didn't want to get any more flack than I already have. But she told me that there are times, even in online situations, where you have a bit of power, even if that power is just for yourself, it's better to use that little bit of power of using your voice than to be silent and then regret it later. That's it. You can take what you will from it or not. You can take it as just another thing that happens in Second Life. However, you take it, I do hope that you learn some things that when it comes to Second Life, when it comes to online in general, that people will surprise you either for the good or for the bad. In retrospect, I believe that if I had been more firm with myself in taking my gut instinct and the red flag warnings to heart, then none of this would have happened. But my failure, because I am a nice person and I do like to help others, and because I am so transparent and I am so open, it's made me gullible to online predators. That is something I will work on for sure. That's going to be edit, edit, edit.